when you're called on for a question, please introduce yourself as we have some people from all over the state. So we can go start with David Newton, followed by Michael Coe.
Julius, congratulations. Well deserved. Wanted to ask you, what were you thinking when you were taking number 2 by your home state team that's coming off a 1-15 season?
What was I thinking back then? I, at that time, there were a lot of questions about what kind of player I was, and I could say it was a lot of doubt and skepticism. There were questions about if I was worthy of being taken that high. So my motivation and my main thought at that time was just to come in and prove that I belong, prove that that I was one of the better players to come out of that draft. So I had a lot of motivation to come in and perform right away because of all of those questions about, my work ethic and stuff like that.
Well, any concerns though, like coming to a team that has really struggled, kind of like this year? And I wonder if you saw anything in that first season that made you think, hey, the next year I could be in the Super Bowl, and you see any similarities with this year's team?
Nah, I didn't see. I didn't see it. I wasn't concerned. First of all, I wasn't concerned about coming to the team that was 1-15. I saw it as a challenge, as an opportunity to come in and be a part of building something. Nobody wants to go to Super Bowl champion already. I mean, I guess some people do, but you want to come in and work for it. So, but nobody could foresee the turnaround that we had going from, 1-15 to winning a few more games that next year. And then I think was it the third year? It was the second year or third year?
Your second year, yeah.
Second year. Well, yeah, nobody could see that, it was different. We had a special group of guys that put in the work. So, yeah, but I can't say I saw that coming.
And one last question. A lot of people said they should have taken Joey Harrington over you. Did you hear that? What were your thoughts? You talking about you had a prove it thing, and some people said you were the second best defensive lineman on your North Carolina team. So, I mean, how did all that fit into your prove it mentality?
So, yeah, I heard all of those things. And again, that was a little bit of fire. That added a little bit of fire to me, because I felt like I should have went number 1. So, but it worked out that I was able to come here, and I'm glad that Houston did what they did. But that was motivation for me, definitely. I heard all of those questions.
Appreciate it. Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Julius, Michael Coe from WCHL in Chapel Hill. Congratulations, first of all. When you think about your time in college playing for the Tar Heels, what sort of memories or lessons from that time of your life stand out and you still think about today?
That was a great moment in my life. As a young kid being in Chapel Hill. I think back on it now, and it's like I really didn't know what I was doing. I think about going from football season, and finishing the season up, and then going straight into the basketball season, basketball practice and stuff like that. People always ask me, like, how were you able to do that? And I just didn't at the time. I was just having fun. I was just playing the sports that I love. It wasn't a job. It wasn't work. It wasn't hard or anything. I was just playing. So it was a great time in my life just to be carefree and have fun playing sports. I think about all of my teammates a lot. From football and from basketball and the coaches. Because those are the things that you remember the most. I don't necessarily remember games. I remember a few plays and stuff like that, but most of the time it's the people that you remember, even in the league, even throughout my career in the league. It's the people and the relationships that you built over the years that stick out to me.
You still talk to a lot of those guys, a lot of your old teammates, basketball and football?
When I have the opportunity to, I don't talk to them, as much because everybody's busy, right? Everybody has their own life going on and stuff like that. But that you mentioned that you probably don't know these names, but I saw Mike Pringley this weekend out in Vegas. He was there. We caught up a little bit talking about Ebenezer Ekubon and some of the other guys that we played with. So yeah, I actually just ran into a couple of them at Super Bowl.
Thanks, Julius. Congratulations again.
All right, let's go to Mike K, followed by Josh Graham.
Hey, Julius, congratulations. Mike K from the Charlotte Observer here. You brought up basketball. During your kind of generation, it was like you and Donovan McNabb were the two guys that played the two-way basketball, football sort of game. And I was curious, why do you think that kind of mindset hasn't kind of lived out throughout the years? Like, why do you think we don't see more dual sport athletes, specifically in basketball and football? And how did playing basketball help you kind of elevate your athleticism or hone it for football?
It's tough. It's tough, man. And the reason I think you don't see it as much is because everybody is selfish with the time, right? Even when I was playing, my coach, Coach Bunting, the football coach at the time, he was a little bit, he wanted me to come back to spring practice, spring football, and stuff like that. So nowadays it's like it's year round. Sports is year round, especially football. So nobody wants to give up that time. Football coaches don't want to give up that time. They want you there for spring. Basketball players, that's a year-round thing too. So I think you don't see it as much for that reason. It's that simple. Everybody's selfish with the time. Nobody wants to give it up. But as far as playing the game, I feel like basketball, the footwork and agility type of things that you need to use on the court, I feel like translated to the football field and my style of play. So I think that was an advantage that I had at the time, being shifty on the field that came from basketball and body control, stuff like that. So that's how I think it translated.
And then another question I had for you, it's been a pretty good 2024 for guys from your age of the Panthers, Dan Morgan getting that GM job. I was just curious, what was he like? I mean, I know he came in the year before you. What was he like as a leader on the field? Whoop, as my alarm goes off, sorry. What was he like as a leader on the field? And why do you think he can handle a leadership building at the top of, or do you think he can handle the leadership position at the top of the front office?
Yeah, I have great confidence in Dan, as I did when I played. He was similar to Luke in some ways, where you see this nice, clean cut guy off the field, but then when they get on the field, they turn into a whole new person. This is like a whole new person that you see that's really fierce, that's really passionate about the game. So that's how he approached it. And he was a great leader. He was a great communicator, and I think he can handle it. I think he's been in that world for a while now, and I thought it was a great choice by Dave to bring Dan in. Dan, he knows the locker room, he knows the guys, and he's a Panther, so I think he's going to take great pride in doing his job and doing it well.
Thanks, Julius. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Hey, Julius, as somebody who's been known not to really seek out the spotlight much, how have you figured out a way to enjoy a 2024 and really into 2023 that saw you go into the Hall of Honor, you're set to go into Canton, and also go into the College Football Hall of Fame this year?
It's a lot. It's a lot. I really been blessed to have these things come right behind each other, and it's been a great couple of months. So I understand that with those type of honors, certain obligations come with it. So um, it's not my favorite thing to do, to film film all of those things for NFL films and stuff like that, and do so much media this past weekend at the Super Bowl. But I understand that it comes with it, and this is a once in a lifetime thing. It's not gonna be something where I have to do it every year. So I'm fine with doing it now, and I'm happy to do it.
One more thing. 20 years ago, you played in the Super Bowl, and you're back on that field this past Sunday. You hear people talk about Marino and others who early in their career get there and never get a chance to go back. When you were back on that field, did you have a moment where you thought, man, I'd give up so much to be back out there and have an opportunity on this stage?
Nah, I didn't actually. It was great to be there. I was out there. I saw Christian, and I was right behind that huddle and stuff like that. So I got to see the guys, but I don't miss being on the field at all. Mainly the preparation part of it. It takes so much just to get prepared. Starting now, if you want to be really good, you should be starting to, work out now and get your body in shape and stuff like that. So I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. So it was great. I saw Smitty out there on the field. We took a picture together. So it was great to be around it. So I love being on the field and being around the guys and being around the atmosphere and the energy, but I don't miss the preparation part of it at all.
Well said. Thanks, Julius.
Let's go to Scott Fowler, followed by Shannon Horn.
Hi, Pep. Congrats.
Thanks,
Hope
man.
you're doing well. You really played with most all of the greats, played in a lot of the best seasons for the Panthers too. I wonder, just as you look back on the Panther part of your career, those 10 seasons over two different times, what are one or two of your favorite moments?
Wow. I gotta say the Super Bowl, even though, we came up a little short, that was probably like the favorite moment that week. And again, I talked about not necessarily being aware of what was happening at the time, just being a young player, second year player in the league, getting to the Super Bowl, thinking like, oh, this is it. Not that it was easy, but like, oh wow, we got here, so we probably gonna be back every year or every other year or something like that. So not necessarily having that awareness at the time to realize how hard it was to get there, and just playing. We just played. So we had a lot of fun during that season. A lot of great memories from that season. The Sam Mills thing with the keep pounding, the game with the game where we went to St. Louis and the greatest show on turf. We got a chance to knock them off. That was a great season. The NFC Championship. Well, the NFC Championship was on my birthday in Philly. So that was a great time. That was a great time for me, and a lot of great memories that season.
Thank you, Pep.
Hi, Julius. Congrats. I'm Shannon with the Daily Tar Heel. And my question with you is, like you kind of mentioned, you have those kind of relationships with your teammates and your coaches that kind of outshine sometimes just some of the moments. So is there like something that a teammate or a coach has said that has kind of stuck with you throughout your career?
Yesterday I called John Fox yesterday, Coach Fox, who's my first coach there in Carolina. And, we talked for a while, for about 30, 45 minutes, just talking, catching up and stuff like that. And he used to always have these sayings that he used to always tell us that I carry with me throughout my career when I went to other places, even when I came back. And he used to, one of the main things was nobody's gonna come to save us. Nobody's gonna come save you. So just meaning that you gotta, if you're going through a hard time in the season, you're going through a tough period of time throughout the season, you gotta figure out a way to get it done, because nobody's gonna come and figure it out for you. You gotta figure it out for yourself. And I took that with me throughout my career. And whenever times got tough during the season and, we went on a skid or whatever, like I would always remind myself that nobody is gonna come save you. So just figure it out. And I had a great time talking with Coach Fox yesterday, man. We talked about a lot, and he had a great influence on my career.
And one other thing, what is kind of some advice that you would give either like current people in the NFL or even in college that you wish you would have been told?
There's so many things. There's so many things that go into it. But, if I could tell guys, one, outside of on the field stuff, would be to surround yourself with the right people off the field. Whether that be your agent, your financial people, your friends, people that just going to have your best interest at heart and that are not going to be a distraction for you. You got to surround yourself with the right people off the field, and that will help your performance on the field. So that would be something that I would tell them. And it's not even sports related, but that's something that I would tell people to do. Make sure you got the right people around you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Mike Solarte, followed by Joe Person and John Ellis.
Pep, good to see you. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
When you were going through your career, and as you were getting into your career, I know that we were guilty of asking you after games, "Is this the best? Is this your best performance? Is this that?" And then when you retire, you get the opportunity to look back. So, in your wildest dreams, could you have ever envisioned everything that has come your way in the last couple of months with the College Football Hall of Fame, the Panthers Hall of Honor, first ballot Pro Football Hall of Fame? Could you have ever envisioned all this? Because as a competitor, you already think you're the best, but now the accolades are rolling in, proving that you were one of the best.
Yeah, and I didn't. It's not something that you play the game for, really, for the accolades and stuff like that. You just play. Now that I look back, it's like making the Hall of Fame was never a goal of mine. That's just something that you don't do. You put your head down and you do the work throughout the season and throughout the years. And you just try to keep doing it. You try to keep doing it because anybody can have a good season. Anybody can have one or two good seasons, right? But the good ones, the great ones, do it consistently. So that's what I tried to strive for, because I always felt like that. Anybody can have a good game, anybody can have a good year. Can you do it again? And that was my mentality. Can you do it again? You had a good season last year, but can you do it again? And you gotta keep doing it. So that's how I looked at it. Hall of Fame and all of that stuff wasn't even on my radar at all at any point in my, as I got older and into the last years, people will say that stuff like, "Oh, you're gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer" and all that, but I never imagined that it would happen like this.
And then, just as a quick follow-up, who was the person with the Panthers, whether teammate or coach, when you first got into the league, that really, really pushed you and kind of drove, kind of reinforced your mentality of, can you do it again? Can you do it again?
It was Coach Fox. It was Coach Fox. I learned so much from him and his staff. Mike Turgovat, Jack Del Rio at the time, um, Sam Mills. I think I came into a pretty good situation with great leaders, great men to learn from. Uh, so I wasn't saying a lot because you're a rookie, like be quiet, like don't like what are you talking about? So I just used to listen a lot and watch Mike Rucker, Brent, Buck, Musin. I used it, and to add to that, I look around the league now and the locker rooms now, and it's like I feel like that's one of the things that's missing in the locker room right now is like that that veteran guy. You might have one or two, but for the most part, you have one or two old heads in there, and then it's the rest of it is all young guys. So who are you really learning from, right? So I think that's the thing missing. Like as for me, like I just mentioned, all of those guys and a lot more. Mark Fields, uh, Mike Minner. Like we had a bunch of guys that had already been in the league that knew how to do it, that you could just learn from and watch. Now I feel like that's a part of the game that's missing. And it comes from the CBA and all the contracts and stuff like that, where they phased out that kind of guy. But I think that some of these teams could benefit from it.
Thanks, Julius. Congratulations again, man.
Hey, Pep, let me echo everyone else's congratulations. That was a cool moment Thursday night. Wanted to ask you, you've talked a lot about Coach Fox.
Yeah.
Is he going to present you this summer?
I don't know, actually. We still I just got all of the information on the deadlines, on things that I need to be prepared for coming up, but we haven't made a decision on that yet. He's definitely one of the guys that I think about that I would like to do it, but I'm not sure yet. Yeah, to answer your question, I'm not sure. I don't know.
And then when you retired, I called a bunch of people, as did all these guys, but Jason Capel told me that early in your career, his dad was a Bobcats assistant, and that they had serious conversations in that organization about bringing you in for a workout. Did they ever call you? Did any other NBA teams call you? And how far do you think you could have taken that sport?
So I never talked to Mr. Capel about that. And me and Jason, we really good friends, still are now. And I know his family well. I knew his dad well. But I think it was a thing about all of you guys know. It's been well documented that basketball was my first love, right? So it was one of those things where I had to give it up for my best interest because I knew that, yeah, that's your dream to play in the NBA, and you probably could do it if you wanted to, but it's probably not the best move for you. I was having those thoughts before I went into the draft, and I think I could have played and had a pretty solid career, but it wouldn't have been all-star Hall of Fame type level. So I think, when I think back on it, I think, it definitely was the right choice to give it up and go the football route.
Thanks, Pat.
Hey, Julius, congratulations, man. John Ellis here. It's good to finally link up with you after all these years. And I think the first question I have for you, I got two here. Brian Burns is a guy that I think embodies a lot of what you have talked about here in terms of veteran leadership on this team. Have you had a chance to speak to Brian at all during the course of his development? What do you make of his game, and where do you see him fitting in in terms of elite pass rushers, not only in the league, but a guy in this locker room for Carolina that can help impact the future young guys that come in the room.
He's I haven't really had that much communication with him. He actually did. I traded a couple of texts with him a couple of days ago. You know, he's congratulating me on the Hall of Fame and stuff like that. And we've been meaning to link up at some point, just about those off the field things that I was talking about. Because that's where I come from. I come from, what's going on off the field, who's around you, who's, like, what do you have going on? What's your support looking like off the field, right? Because I think that translates. I think it translates to on the field type of stuff. So I'm there for that kind of stuff, like the mentor, big brother kind of stuff. But like as far as his game, I think he's one of the best. I think he's one of the best. He has all the tools. He has all of the talent. And I hope we're able to keep him. I hope he stays. So yeah, I hope we're able to keep him around for a long time.
And lastly, you mentioned Sam Mills, and I think it's a name that doesn't get mentioned enough from us, from fans, and we all have a short-term memory here. But it was said, I think, a while back from Kevin Donnelly or somebody that keep pounding. It wasn't a hashtag back then; it was organic, and it grew. And now you're going to share a bust right there with Sam Mills in the Hall of Fame, and just talk about the emotions with that. And one game that comes to mind, if you can just tell me, the speech that happened before that Dallas playoff game, it was kind of the perfect game, right? You had an interception, no turnovers, no penalties. Just Sam Mills, what he meant to you and what it means to be in the same building as him up there in Canton now.
Yeah, so I was actually there at his enshrinement 2 years ago. I went up to Canton for it. I drove down to be there for that because it's such a special moment, and he means so much to the organization. And I'm honored to be able to say that I was there, that I had a chance to, be around him for a short time. I even played for his son. Sam Mills III actually was my coach too. So I have a very great relationship with that family. It's an honor to be friends with them, and be close to something that means so much to the team. Because when he started talking about the keep pounding thing, when that became a thing, it happened. Like you said, it did happen organically. It's something that we didn't, as a team, we didn't have to come up with anything, a catchphrase or a mantra or anything. It was there. It was given to us. And so I think that's what makes it special, because it's something that's real and authentic.
Congratulations, Julius. Appreciate it.
All right, let's wrap it up with Deshaun Brown.
Julius, congratulations. This is Deshaun Brown from Channel 9. I'll end essentially where we started. When you began speaking today, you mentioned wanting to prove that you belonged when you were drafted. As you look back over your career, what was that moment when you felt like you'd achieved that?
I think it was like it was during the first season, during the first couple of games. If I'm not mistaken, the very first game was against Baltimore Ravens. The first regular season game was against the Baltimore Ravens. Ray Lewis, Deion Sanders was there at the time. Ed Reed was a rookie like me. But the last play of that game, we had a blitz called, and I came through. I got the sack. Well, actually, it wasn't a sack. It was like a pass deflection, and Dan ended up catching it for an interception, and that was to close out the game. So that in itself, that first game, to be able to make a big play at the end of the game, gave me a big boost of confidence to let me know that, you know, I could do it.
So congratulations again.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Julius.
All right, thanks, guys.